Hello, everyone. Welcome to Marvel March. We appreciate you joining in today. And I hope you guys like Marvel because that's all you're getting this month.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one.
So the plan right now, and I think we said this in the Scream 5 and 6 review, but just to recap if you missed that one. The plan right now is instead of doing one video a week for Marvel March, we're going to do 3. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's the plan right now.
We'll see if we can keep up with it. But this week for sure we'll get it done. But we'll see how it goes.
But so to start off, so far the only MCU movies we have done are Iron Man 1, Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man 2. So
wow, we've got to pick up the pace.
So today we're gonna do 2 movies that don't really seemingly tie together, but they're next in line. So
they are 2 origin stories, and they also came out the same year. So there's a through line.
Yep. So we're gonna start with Thor. I remember when this movie first came out, and I wasn't so deep in the MCU yet.
No one was.
Okay, I really liked Iron Man 1, but Incredible Hulk didn't really captivate me too much, and Iron Man 2 was a huge letdown, so I was like, okay, well, I guess they had the one swing with Iron Man, and that was that.
Yeah, that checks out.
So I didn't actually see Thor 1 or Captain America 1 in the theater.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw all of them in theaters, except for Black Widow, which up until Black Widow, because by that point it wasn't an option for reasons.
I've seen since Avengers, I've seen just about every single MCU movie in the theater except for Eternals, Black Widow, and the Marvels.
Oh, there's a few after Endgame that I didn't see, but up through Black Widow, I had seen everything in theaters.
That's fair. Starting with Avengers, I did because I ended up watching Thor and Captain America right before Avengers came out because my friend had them on a Blu-ray and he was like, "Hey, yeah, you should probably watch these before Avengers." I was like, "You're probably right." So,
and then you saw Avengers and you're like, you know what? This might be something.
oh, dude, Avengers. We'll get to Avengers next time.
Yeah.
But let's start with Thor. So Thor is played by Chris Hemsworth, who was almost a nobody at that point. I think he had a small role in the Star Trek movie, but I don't think he was really a big star yet at that point, was he?
No, I know I recognized him by this point, but no, I wasn't super familiar with him. And I know, yeah, he had that brief role as what was like Kirk's dad or something.
Yeah, he was Kirk's dad in Star Trek. But he does a great job as Thor throughout this entire Most of these actors are really solid in their roles.
I mean, of course, Chris Hemsworth is perfect to play a god. Look at the guy.
He just makes me feel like less of a man every time I see him.
Oh man. We talked about this in our last MCU video, which is this takes place during the same week as those last 2.
Yes. The post-credit scene for Iron Man 2 was Mjolnir just, there, and Cloud wants his input on that apparently. So we start with a little flashback of, if you know Norse mythology, you kind of know what's going on. I barely fucking know anything about Norse mythology outside of the MCU and God of War. that's my knowledge of Norse mythology. But Odin and the Asgardians had a war with the Frost Giants, and they had their battle, and then we jump a while to where we have Thor and Loki, and Thor's about to take the throne of Asgard, but he's like, hey, the Frost Giants kind of broke into our vault, so I'm gonna go kill them. And then he gets banished to Earth, and there's our setup.
Yeah, which we find out a lot more about what happened there later. So what blew my mind going into this movie was this was 2011. Asgard still looks amazing,
dude. The fact that this movie came out in 2000, I swear time is moving faster as I get older, and I hate it.
Oh, it is.
But yeah, 2011, it still looks awesome. Granted, you don't see a lot of Asgard in the first Thor.
No.
Most of the first Thor is him on Earth with Natalie Portman and Darcy. I think Dr. Selvig is an original character. I don't think he was in the comics.
I'm not sure.
I could be wrong on that, but I think he was created for the movie. And, they think when Thor just lands there, they think he's, knucking futs.
Rightly so.
Because Even they saw him fall out of the sky.
Yeah, well, I think the thing that started to make them believe that he was telling the truth was seeing the picture of the man in the sky, which they didn't know that at first.
But then, Natalie Portman hits him with a car a couple of times.
A couple of times. That was actually that got me back when I first saw this. That was just the fact that it kept happening was actually funny.
Though, I guess you can come off as a crazy person. If you look like Chris Hemsworth, hey, it's fine.
It's really it's really pretty privilege.
Mm-hmm. But the whole movie, he comes off as crazy, but obviously he's not crazy because he's right.
Maybe it's because he had blonde eyebrows. It didn't really. I'm sorry that he doesn't have blonde eyebrows anymore.
He's Prince Charming from Shrek 2. That's what he is. But anyway, so his whole goal in this movie is to get his hammer back. But what's going on Asgard while this is all happening, Cody?
Well, let's see. Some drama, some family drama.
Yeah.
Loki's figuring out that he might not be Asgardian. He might be a freaking frost giant.
Which is never acknowledged again outside of the first Avengers, as far as I remember.
There's some multiverse stuff that gets referenced in the animated What If thing, but past that, not so much.
The writers forgot he was a frost giant.
It's really just to set up the drama between him and Odin. And Odin, I guess, is overdue for this long sleep he takes every once in a while.
Look, he's a grandpa. Look at him.
But yeah, so yeah, that's happening, and Loki's basically taking the throne while Thor's away.
Because Loki, this might come as a shock to you, is an asshole.
Yeah, it's almost like this was the plan.
Was he the first villain to survive his movie in the MCU?
Well, no, that doesn't count as a villain. No, because Abomination is still alive
and have a major role later.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't have a major role.
Doesn't appear again.
He comes back, just doesn't matter.
He's a background character.
But he did survive though. So.
Oh yeah, because Hulk did not strangle him to death. But all of Thor's friends are like, you need to end his banishment because this is not cool. And Loki's like, but I am king now. He's basically Scar, more or less.
Yep, and it kind of turns out that was his plan the whole time.
Yeah, because Loki is a jerk. Dude, the scene where Loki shows up to Thor when he's in that shield, little containment area for Mjolnir.
Mm-hmm.
And we're listening like, Thor, do not buy his bullshit. Don't believe him. Because we all know he's lying.
I literally have bullshit written down for that scene.
Mm-hmm. Stan Lee's cameo was funny. When he's trying to pull Mjolnir with a pickup truck and his pickup truck breaks in half.
Did it work?
But, Dr. Selvig gets him out of there and is like, hey, Jane looks at you really pretty, but you're a bad person, so I need you to leave.
Yeah. Oh man, that scene with them drinking together and having that moment was a fun moment.
And he doesn't leave.
No, he doesn't. He says he's going to, and no. I think Selvig starts to like him after that.
Yep, exactly. But when Thor's friends show up because Heimdall's like, hey, Loki sucks as a king, go get Thor back. They're like, oh, he's super serious.
Yeah, this is something that I'm going to be bringing up later, but it's really annoying how his friends mattered at first.
Until Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, God, dude, I feel like I'm the only person that's pissed off about that.
No, trust me. I was thinking about it while I was watching that too. I was like, oh, they just get murdered.
No, yeah, we'll get to that, but remember, these are his best friends, and in this movie,
matter,
you can feel
right?
it.
Right?
You can feel that.
I loved when the Destroyer showed up on Earth. They're like, is that one of Stark's?
Yeah, that was funny.
It was funny, but the scene where Thor gets his hammer back, it reminds me of in a video game. When your main character starts at max level, and then something takes your power away, that's what this movie is.
No, yeah, basically, I mean, he's huge fall from grace. I mean, he's about to become king. Next thing you know, he's banished.
He was so OP at the beginning of the movie, and he gets his hammer back and is like, "Hey, Destroyer, fuck you."
Yeah, and he literally sacrifices himself in that scene.
He was gonna.
No, he did. He freaking died. From Loki's perspective, he killed his brother.
Not something I don't understand. Like, so after he's on the ground dead, he just lifts his arm to grab the hammer. Did the hammer, like, magnetically pull his arm? How did that work?
Odin magic.
Okay.
Which, oh, yeah, that's actually the thing about this, is in this movie, or back just early MCU, magic was sort of presented more like science.
They're one and the same.
Yeah, no, there's that line about magic is just science that we don't understand yet.
I come from a place where they're one and the same.
There was this through line in the early MCU that was how, like, no, it's just science. We don't get it yet, though.
Eventually, we will get wizards. We'll get to wizards eventually.
Yeah. Oh, and also the fact that everybody, or at least Selvig, was familiar with Norse mythology means there had been many trips to Earth in the past.
Yes.
That's weird.
Oh, man. And then Thor tells Coulson, like, hey, listen, I'll help you guys out. I'll be your ally. Consider me an ally, but leave me alone. Or something along those lines. It's really because he met Natalie Portman, and Natalie Portman looks like Natalie Portman. Am I wrong?
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Anyway. Bro, though, the scene where he destroys the Bifrost, I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, but it ends up not meaning much at all.
Well, because he has to get back for the Avengers movie.
No, I know, but the fact that, like, it's, I think it's actually a little bit longer because this does not actually take place in 2011. I think it
takes place in 2010. I think, right?
Yeah, I think it's 2010. So it's a solid 2 years before he makes it back to Earth.
Also, the King of the Frost Giants. The movie makes you think he's this big bad main villain, and Loki just incinerates him.
Oh yeah, and don't forget that's literally Loki's dad.
Yep.
And he's just like, okay, Dad, bye. I mean, the dude abandoned him, so okay.
It's just they make you think he's the main villain, but he's not. Loki is. So
yeah, and I think this is why Loki sticks around for so long in the MCU, despite continuing to die, is they do set him up as being a character. I mean,
how many times Loki actually died?
Actually died once.
I can only think of the one time he was actually dead.
But he has fake died like 3 or 4 times.
Including in this movie.
But like you see that, Loki's obviously mad at Odin and wants to be king, feels like he earned the throne more than his brother. I mean, the fact that Thor starts as the rampaging angry one.
Dude, Thor's character growth in this movie is almost as good as Tony Stark's in the first Iron Man. It's impressive, actually.
And then Loki seems like the level-headed one at first, and there's just this total switch. But also, even when Loki's like, being a bit evil, you can still tell that he respects Odin and really loves his mom.
Yeah, not so much Thor.
No, there's definitely a rivalry there.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Loki does kill Thor, so
yeah, no. But I actually quite enjoyed the first Thor a lot more than I remember enjoying it, because I haven't watched this movie probably since 2015-ish.
Yeah, it's been a few years for me.
It's been a while, and I really, really liked it. I think it's my second favorite Thor movie.
That makes sense. There was a reference to, it didn't say it, but there was reference to Samuel Stern's Mr. Blue from Selvig. Selvig was like scared of the mention of S.H.I.E.L.D. because he knew about this pioneer in gamma radiation that went missing. It's a direct reference to Stearns.
Yeah, who doesn't come back until another Captain America movie in 2024 or 5?
What's that sequel? What's the sequel to Incredible Hulk called?
Yeah, Captain America: Brave New World. That one.
Sure, we'll get there
next year probably.
And then there's a post-credit scene which really kicks off the Infinity Saga.
Oh yeah, because Selvig meets Nick Fury, and the Tesseract is there, or the Cosmic Cube, I think is what's actually called in the comics.
Oh, that I don't know, but yes, it's the Tesseract, which becomes much more important later.
But what did you think of the first Thor?
I was honestly impressed at how well this movie held up. It feels a bit small now because of how much takes place on Earth, but it makes sense.
I'm about to say, given that this is Thor's intro.
Yeah. No, but I was very impressed. The visuals hold up great. The story, while simple, is effective, and the characters are all pretty solid.
Thor, especially, is a really likable character. Which, good, he's the main character, so.
Yes, that's important.
And it leads pretty well into the Avengers, considering the main villain in the Avengers is also in this movie.
What?
But Captain America.
Yes, Captain America, the first Avenger.
This is the first MCU movie with a subtitle, isn't it?
Yeah. Unless you count a number.
I don't.
You don't. Nobody counts a number.
Nobody counts a number. So this, as far as I know, is the earliest point in the MCU. That up to this point. I think we might have had stuff earlier, later on, but up to this point, because it takes place mostly in 1941 to 1942. Granted, the movie starts, I think, in 2012.
Yeah, I would it could be 2011. It's hard to say because
I know the movie ends in 2012.
Well, no, because it could be the year before Avengers. That's what I'm saying. Like he might have some time to reacclimate before Avengers kicks off.
But he might.
It might also be right before. Either way, it's 2011, 2012, definitely right around there.
It starts because they find him in the ice, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
So this movie follows Steve Rogers, who's played by Chris Evans, who I did not, when I first saw this, I was like, they brought Johnny Storm?
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that, of course.
Like Captain America? Really? However, he is a much better Captain America than he was a Johnny Storm.
That is true. No, honestly, it's crazy because I've never disliked this movie, but I've also never been crazy about it. However, Cap becomes my favorite character in the MCU.
My third. He's my third. But you probably know who my top two are, but we'll get to that another day. But he is a really good Captain America, though. No, straight up.
He's perfect casting, honestly.
Again, just like Thor, I feel like less of a man whenever I see Chris Evans.
Oh, yeah. No, especially that. I'll mention the scene specifically. But I've always had a thing with this movie where, and this is weird because I don't like war movies. I find them, I don't know, too true to life, and true life is boring. Of course, you get some special stuff thrown in here, but the bulk of the beginning is basically a war movie, yet for some reason I like the first half of this movie a lot more than I like the second half of this movie.
You know what it is? I think, one, you see just they humanize Steve Rogers so much and you empathize with him.
That's the thing. Like they just set him up as just such a solid character, and I'm like, what? How did you?
And he has this brother, best friend figure, Bucky Barnes, who's looking out for him. Which he'll be way more important than you think he will be.
Yeah, didn't expect that. I didn't know anything about most of these characters back then, so
I don't know how this guy becomes John Slattery in later movies. Because they do not look the same at all.
No, they do not. That is true. Talking about Howard Stark, by the way. To clarify.
What?
Yeah.
Like, if they had just recasted from Iron Man 2 to Captain America and this guy just been Howard Stark for the rest of the series, fine. But no, they bring John Slattery back later, and he's the main Howard Stark through the MCU. So what happened here?
I think he was a bit too old to play him back then.
Yeah, they probably didn't have the de-aging technology.
No, it was not even. This was what I think that really started kicking off with Tron Legacy, which I think was right around this movie.
I think the year before.
I think it was. So yeah, no, it was not even close to ready.
No, it wasn't. But I'll give it this. This guy definitely feels more like Tony Stark's father.
Yes, that is true. Maybe that's what they were going for. Was just like, hey, this is what he was like. But he's not. He's also not as cocky and arrogant as Tony ends up being.
No, he's not. Granted, Tony Stark has a giant character arc, but
yeah, no, that's kind of the point.
But you can tell that this guy is clearly what Tony Stark was trying to be.
Yeah.
But we also have Agent Carter, who becomes a big focal point of Captain America's storyline.
She's like, yeah, A giant part of it. That's true. She also gets her own show, which may or may not be canon. Who knows?
She's also in a multiverse movie later on.
That's also true. Which and what? Oh, she has a big part in What If.
Yes, she does. But so Steve Rogers wants to be a soldier. He wants to fight for his country because he is very, very selfless. You see that immediately. He's got heart, but he is a puny, scrawny twerp.
Which is crazy to do that to Chris Evans.
How did they do it?
It's like a 3-tier effect. They had a body double, and then there's like a CG thing and a face overlay. It's a triple whammy.
Now I want to make sure I understood this. The super soldier serum was the basis for Hulk's gamma radiation transformation, wasn't it?
I think that's what they were trying.
They were trying to replicate.
Replicate, yeah.
But it turned Bruce Banner into a giant green range monster.
Yes, it did.
But they were looking for candidates, but none of them had the selfless heart and like strong will that Steve Rogers had. That's why he was chosen.
I like how there's this whole thing where the general dude is just looking for another soldier, but the doctor who's behind, I forgot his name. Sorry, the doctor who's
Stanley
actually
Tucci.
Well, yes, there you go. Yes, his name is Stanley Tucci. The doctor who's working on the project is just like, okay, why the hell are we looking for we don't need a soldier. The serum's gonna do that. We just need a good dude.
I love how Tommy Lee Jones is like, yeah, but he's passed all the credentials. Yeah, but he's a jackass.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's the point. We don't need another freaking Red Skull. But Steve's talking to Bucky when he's trying to sign up again, and the doc overhears him, and that's ultimately what gets him in. Just literally Steve being himself.
Well, we got to mention too, Red Skull is the main villain in this movie, and he gets the Tesseract in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, it's like the first thing that happens.
Mm-hmm. And that's powering all of Hydra's weapons. And Hydra also becomes quite a big deal in the MCU going forward.
Yeah, but see, this is what's so funny is like that whole element, the Red Skull, the thing with the Tesseract and the energy weapons, like that's the thing that makes this not just a war movie, but I also find it the least interesting part of the movie.
You know what it is too? It's because I think you like the first half mainly because of Steve Rogers.
Because it's all about him being him. Like the scene with him getting the flag, just setting him up is just not another brute. I don't know. There's just, and the thing with the dummy grenade, him throwing himself at it, which is ultimately the thing that makes the general go, yeah.
But then we mentioned this before, when he actually becomes Captain America, what is it with these MCU guys making me feel like lesser? Fuck all of you.
Just that intro shot when that pod opens up, just like,
and then Agent Carter's like, oh, hello.
Yep. Which, to be clear, she was already starting to like him when he was a scrawny little dude.
But then she saw him like that, and she's like, oh.
Like, sorry, it can't go unmentioned. Before she saw him like that, they had that whole conversation about how he's never danced, and that
I was actually going to mention that right after I was done with that point. Thank you.
Oh, okay, gosh, sorry.
And then, like, he was in the car, like, you're a beautiful dame. That's not what I mean. You are beautiful, but you've never talked to a woman before, have you?
Yep.
I understand. I used to be like that.
Some part of you, I'm sure, still is.
No one asked you.
I'm sorry.
But then you have that. He gets all these superpowers, becomes the world's first superhero, and then he's just a prop to get Americans to buy bullets.
Yeah.
That's part of where the movie started to lose me. I was like, this guy is a tank.
I mean, you saw, like, he got his powers and immediately adjusted to them.
Like, this guy is a beast, and instead of sending him out there to go beat the shit out of bad guys, you're using him for propaganda? And you can tell it was pissing him off.
Well, obviously.
He's like, no, I want to be out there. I want to, serve my country. And so he finally is like, fuck it. I'm going to just go do it.
Yeah. I mean, you're just like, I can finally do this and you're not going to let me? No, but as soon as he hears that Bucky might be in trouble.
That's when he's like, yeah, fuck it. And he goes and just saves all those people single-handedly because he's a badass. And he even was like, I'm going to turn myself in for disobeying you. Tommy Lee Jones is like, unnecessary.
Well, I mean, he saved everyone single-handedly. What are you going to do?
Sorry. You going to arrest him? Dude, the way Agent Carter got jealous after that girl just starts making out with him.
Oh yeah.
Was that his first kiss, you think?
Considering the fact that he's never actually talked to a woman, I would say possibly, but then there's also that part. I think it's before that where there's like this montage of him meeting people, and there's that quick shot of him meeting Star-Lord's mom. Wait, what?
Oh my god! Damn.
So, yeah, so that's a thing. Anyways, there might.
Didn't we talk about that off the show recently?
Oh, I believe it. We've talked about this series a lot.
Yeah, that's probably true. That is true.
But yes, the actress who plays Star-Lord's mom is very, very briefly in this for some reason. Yeah, so there's an implication that something might have happened there, but we have no idea.
How old was Star-Lord when she died?
It's not actually her. It's just the same actress.
I'm being a dickhead. I know.
There are actually a few actors. I think one of the guys in the Howling Commandos I think ends up playing his own grandson later on in some other thing. So that's a deliberate recast though.
Oh, this is not changing history for Mr. I'm my own grandpa.
Screw history. Oh man, references.
Anyway, back to Captain America. So,
yes.
Something I will say about this. I'm not the biggest fan of Red Skull.
No, I do think Hugo Weaving plays him well, but I just don't think he's an interesting character.
He's really not. He's just like, "Hi, I'm a Nazi,"
and that's it.
That's all there is to it.
I'm sorry. It's boring. I think that's why I find that whole element so uninteresting.
Mm-hmm. That might be part of why this movie lost me for a while. What really I think holds this movie together is Steve Rogers. Like him and Agent Carter's relationship is the reason this movie works.
Yep.
And you got Bucky in there too. But and Bucky just falls out of a train.
Oh no, Bucky!
He's never coming back.
Bucky.
That's the thing. Bucky he's there in this movie.
Which I like their friendship, but yeah, he doesn't have a big. He's really the damsel in distress.
He's like Luigi in the Mario movie.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good comparison. But then there's also just in that second half, there's just a lot of really, really bad green screen.
Yes, we were talking like Thor is better looking than Captain America visually.
Okay, let's not compare Chris's. Okay, let's not compare Chris's.
Yeah, I don't want to do that because then all the fangirls are going to come at me. But no, if we're just talking like the film itself, one, I did actually like Thor more than Captain America. And also Thor was more visually stimulating than Captain America. The movie, not the character.
No, I got it. Oh, that's funny. Sorry. Can we talk about how Cap's shield was just shoved under a table as a prototype, even though it's at this time the most powerful, rarest
vibranium, because adamantium is not in the MCU yet.
But because this is the rarest metal on Earth. This is an awesome shield, and you just shove it under a table.
Where did he get it? Did he go to Wakanda?
We don't know.
I did like when they made the whole fondue thing.
Yeah, do you fondue?
But then he looks at Howard Stark, because they're both like eyeing Agent Carter because she looks like that, and he's like, "I got some ideas for the suit." Yeah, no problem, pal.
Right. She shoots at him.
And also the final battle. One, how'd they get away with letting that guy fall into a fan?
Yeah, dude, that shot is
PG-13 movie, because that's brutal.
That shot is great. Like he gets obliterated.
He gets shredded, and it's just blood.
I think it's because it's just so fast it barely registers, but that is like extremely gruesome.
It's Captain America was straight just killing people in this movie.
Well, I think pretty much the only character who actively does not kill anyone for the entire MCU is Spider-Man, and then on the show side of things, Daredevil, but that's whatever.
Yeah, I think you're right, Spider-Man.
But everybody else has no qualms about killing. These are all warriors, and they. Yeah,
we'll get the Spider-Man eventually. Because he's not in the MCU. Actually, yes, he is in the MCU at this point. What am I talking about?
We already talked about that, yes. But that was a retcon. We know that now.
Yep. But, the Tesseract just kind of sends Red Skull away. And then Captain America promises Agent Carter, oh yeah, I'll be back next week to dance. I think he knew that wasn't going to happen.
Oh,
He
of
was
course.
just calming her down.
They both knew.
But then, he wakes up 70 years later. All right, Cody, you can take this one away, bro, because there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, no, I get why it was necessary, obviously, to set things up back in his typical origin story. It's funny if they ever, for some reason, reboot the series, they're still probably going to set it in World War II, and it's just like the gap that he has to be asleep for.
There's going to be like 90 years.
It gets longer and longer.
But he has to be there because he has to be in the Avengers. So
yeah, and no, that was a cool final moment in this movie. Just I was like, wait, what? Why is he waking up? Why is he waking up at the same time? Is everything okay? Who's this woman here? What has happened? Oh, nope, never mind. He's oddly close to Times Square. That was strange.
And then Nick Fury is like, you've been asleep for 70 years. I had a date. And that's the last shot of the movie.
Yeah, that's sad.
The post-credit scene, though, is a trailer for the Avengers. And half of a scene from the Avengers.
Yeah, actually, that scene with him and Fury talking is cut slightly differently in the trailer than it is.
Yes, it is. I noticed that too as I was watching the event.
It helps when you watch these things close to each other.
Yeah, because I watched them all back to back. That's all I did yesterday. But I did enjoy Captain America: The First Avenger. I still think of the Avengers like build-up movies. I like Thor and Iron Man 1 a bit more, but I did like Captain America more than Incredible Hulk and Iron Man 2.
I definitely like Cap 1 more than I used to, but that's probably just because I like Steve Rogers more and more. Again, he becomes my favorite character, so it's really hard not to like that element.
See, here's the thing too. Before I watched this movie, I just thought Cap was such a boring Boy Scout character. I was like, whatever, fuck you, Captain America.
Everybody did. I mean, even I used to.
And then you watch the movies and you're like, oh no, Cap's actually cool. But we'll get more into that when we get to Winter Soldier, because
I am looking forward to that one.
That's going to be a good one. But what else do you have to say about these two movies, Cody?
I think that about wraps it up. It's crazy how well some of these elements hold up, and the fact that these movies are still enjoyable.
They are. Like, we were still kind of in the and like comic book movie era, but once Avengers hit, that's when everyone was like, oh yeah, we're all fully in on the MCU now. But we'll talk about that next time.
And you have to remember, this is all pre-Disney. It was still mostly distributed by Paramount at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it's a totally different era.
Completely. When did Disney take over during Avengers?
I think the buyout was around then, but they still had the rights to, like, I know Iron Man 3 was still distributed by Paramount. I'm not sure about Thor: The Dark World.
We'll get to that when we talk about those movies. But until then, I want to thank you guys so much for listening to the first episode of Marvel March.
This is Marvel Match. Thanks for coming.
I don't know why that accent came out of my mouth, but and we'll see you next time for all of what Phase 1 has really been building up to, the Avengers. Stick around and take care.